Sanibonani, Dumilang, hi there. Thank you for joining us on our series on our Cuddle Trust theme books. We are super excited to share this with you. Having worked in this field for over 15 years, we have realized that many of the teachers we work with have challenges with regards to time and resources. And we're hoping through this series that we are going to be able to save you worries, knowing that as you progressively work through these themes, you will be able to have your school and your children on par with any other school that's around. We are offering you lessons, structured lessons on specific themes with activities and worksheets that are going to be using all 5 of the senses. The idea is that these will all challenge the child progressively so that he will develop skills that will make him feel confident and always feel like a winner. And your school will be seen as very professional, very productive, and the outcome of that would be, it would be profitable as well. We are going to look at the theme of me and my people, firstly, because it is something that children can all speak about. As always, we divide the main theme into 4 themes, being me, myself, and I in week 1. Week 2, looking at my family. Week 3, looking at my friends. And the 4th week, we will talk to them about their emotions. Ideas for your theme table would be to put up charts, as we always suggest, that you have charts like numbers, because that is something a child is going to be looking at. And we can have a chart on opposites. We can also have a chart on emotions, depending on which ones we specifically want to focus on in that week. You would also encourage children to bring dolls. You can encourage them to bring photos about themselves, books about people or about their friends, anything that they associate to them and their family. The 3 songs that we're going to sing with this theme are going to be Head, Shoulders, Knees and Toes, if you're happy and you know it, and a religious song, It's Me, It's Me, It's Me, Oh Lord, which is a prayer. If you don't know the tune to these songs, you can either make one up, or we also have them available on a CD. The skills that we're going to be developing through this theme is communication, sequencing, cutting, gluing and reasoning, socialization, increased vocabulary, counting, shapes, and memorization. Now you can see why we were almost probably going to have that chart on counting on the walls. The themes, I'm only going to look at one of the weeks, and we have these books available for 70 Rand, which you are welcome to come and contact our Cuddle Trust if you are interested in acquiring these books. So the first week, we're looking at me, myself, and I. The first day, remember, it's the first day of the child at your school. We're going to talk about his name, and they all know their names. And let's do it with a game rather than having them write their names down. They are going to get to that because that's going to be an activity they do. But let's play that game as we show you at the preschool course, where they have a ball and they roll it to one another, and they sing that song, Where is Namshla, where is Namshla, there she is. So they get to know one another's names, but they also are encouraged to share their own name, pronounce it correctly, and who doesn't get excited when you hear someone sharing your name. So we're going to just play that as a game. Remember, it's breaking the ice, getting the children to know one another, and then we can encourage them. We write their name on a card, and we encourage them to copy their names onto another piece of paper, or we stick it by their bookcase so that they know that that is where they're going to be keeping their suitcases. Remember, as always, as we said, the preschool course, children under the age of 4, please do not give them a paper and a pen. They can write with big crayons, they can write with chalk, they can write on the walls, but only from the age of 4 onwards will we let children write with papers and pencils. So on this day, the child has spoken about himself. So they are either a boy or they're a girl, and we're going to encourage them to do worksheet 1. So worksheet 1 is at the back of your manual. It looks like that, which is a blank piece of paper. But by the time the child has finished with it, the boys would have colored in the boys' clothes and the girls would have colored in the girls' clothes. It's teaching them discipline. They mustn't just color in any picture. It's just coloring in the picture that pertains to them. Then the next day, we're going to talk about my body, the whole body. And we'll start singing the song, head, shoulders, knees, and toes. And we encourage them to touch different parts of their body. So we are working on cross laterals, difference between left and right, and top and bottom at the same time. And then depending on the abilities of the child, we can also start saying, use your left hand to touch your right knee, or use your right hand to touch your ear, or your mouth, or your left shoulder. Again, encouraging cross laterals all the time. Your main goal with this is the child is hearing the name of the part of the body and they're associating it by touching a certain part. So here they're going to do worksheet 2. Firstly, so they get this picture of a person, which they now have to color in first of all. Then they're going to cut it out. And now you've got all the parts of the body lying all over the place. So on a separate piece of paper, they're going to stick it again, making sure they're putting it in the correct order and at the correct places. So the leg doesn't come where the arm is and the arms don't come out of the ears. We're also going to get them worksheet 3 to do, where they have to do association. So they're looking at the top block and they have got to look in the next line and see who is doing movements in the same direction. It sounds simple, but I tell you, it is quite a challenge for the young child. The next day, we're going to now focus just on the face, the eyes, the ears, the nose, and the mouth, and we are going to draw attention to what do these parts of the face do, because each one has got a different function. You can at the same time also talk to them about if you didn't have eyes, what would you feel like? What wouldn't you be able to do? And play blindfold, close their eyes with a piece of material and let them walk around a room, or give them an object and they've got to identify what it is. Or if you're deaf, what would that feel like? What wouldn't you be able to do? And let children practice, put something in their ears, even if it's just letting them hold their ears tight and let them feel what it feels like to be deaf. And if you haven't got a tongue, what would that feel like? What would you not be able to do? Make them close their mouths and say to them they must ask you for a glass of water without opening their mouths. And with this game, in a way, you are encouraging them to be sensitive to people who have got disabilities in these regards and have respect for them and what they are able to do. On this day, we're going to look at worksheet 4. Worksheet 4, there is an empty face, one for a girl, an empty face, one for a boy, and then we've got pictures of eyes, nose, mouth, and even some teeth. And the child can decide which his mouth looks like and what eyes does he like and what nose. They're going to cut it out and they're going to stick it on a piece of paper, which again is sequencing, ordering, and making sure they know that their eyes come at the top and their nose in the middle and their mouth at the bottom. Again, they can be encouraged to color it in before they cut out and paste on. But you can see this is all sequencing. And you think, oh, yeah, no, but sequencing, what is sequencing? Well, sequencing is maths. Sequencing leads to reading as well. That would be the 4th day. And then on the 5th, they're going to go for a walk outside, because we're going to focus on their senses. We're going to go out of the classroom, because what are we wanting to teach the child? That what happens in the classroom is also experienced in the environment. So they don't just associate the classroom as the learning environment. They can realize that learning takes place outside the classroom. So you as a teacher, you're going to go outside today and you're going to say to them, right, with our hands, what can we do? Oh, we can touch the grass, we can touch the leaves, we can touch an animal. With our eyes, what can we do? Well, we can see the sun, we can see the trees, we can see the cars. With our ears, what are we doing? And what can we hear? Our nose, what can we smell? And our mouth, what can we taste? And you can go around the school, go around the if you can walk around the neighborhood, if it's safe enough, and let them experience a whole lot of different things using all their different senses. Now you're going to come back into the classroom environment and you're going to ask each child to find their magazine. And in the magazine, they are going to look for items that are now linked with all their different senses that they had experienced. So we are working with association. There's their mouth. What could they do with their mouth? Well, they can taste an ice cream or they can taste a stew. With their ear, what can they hear with their ear? Remember, they are looking for these pictures in the magazines or the newspaper adverts, anything where there are nice pictures available. Their hands, what could they do? And their nose, what could they do? They could smell the roses, or they can smell the spray that's in the kitchen or in the bathroom. They can smell the cream. The child is showing his understanding what we are trying to share with them. And then with their eyes, what did they see? So the child will have all of those pictures stuck down on a piece of paper. And you can imagine this is going to take them close to an hour, maybe 2 hours to look for the picture, cut the picture out, and then stick it at the appropriate places. And then we come to Friday. Fridays, we always encourage you to do a craft, to do an outing, or do some form of physical play activity, because by Friday you are tired, by Friday the child is tired, and you still want to have education happening, but let's move it to a fun basis. So what we've suggested, seeing as we are focusing on the child himself and his body, is why don't you paint their hands, stick it on a piece of paper, and let them write their names on the top of that activity. So that is just week one. And as you can see, it was a really busy week. And the child is going to have done quite a few activities that are very, very different. I would suggest, as always, don't send the activities home with the children every day. I would only send Friday's activity home with them. The rest you're going to keep in a portfolio file like this. And at the end of the week, at the end of the month, your child will go home and he will have a whole folder full of different kinds of activities, which will show his parents and his grandparents what he has done in a whole month. And it will come across very structured, very professional, and you won't get frustrated because you won't have these papers lying around. Parents will start realizing that children will, every day they're learning something. Some days they're going to bring it home in their hands, some days they're going to bring it home in their heads, and other days they will bring it home in their hearts. Thank you for sharing this time with me, and till next time, have a great day. Bye.